Hello there, beautiful beings, and welcome to my sacred space. My name is Raven, and thank you so much for being here. As always, I'm truly grateful for your subscriptions or your subscribes, likes, and your comments. Today, we're gonna have a look at the 5-cent tarot. This is by Madame Clara. It's the second edition. Got it off of Etsy. I'm gonna put the link in the description box below. I don't remember for how much. I think about 50 bucks. It's finally here, so I'm really excited. I removed the shrink wrap already, but I'm gonna take out the deck for now so that we can have a look at the box. So the box is of oh, by the way, if you're just here for the flip through of the cards, please have a look at the timestamp in my description box below, because I do provide timestamps for people who are not so keen to know about the packaging, about the guidebook, and whatnot. But I am very keen to talk about that in my reviews, because I know there are people out there who are interested. So the box is pretty straightforward. It has this magnetic opening at the side. This is how it looks like in the front. So you have this beautiful silver, and then a stunning intricate design in the middle, and it closes like this. And then it has this cute velvet yellow bag. Alright, so let's have a look at the guidebook. The guidebook is very thin. As you can see, this is actually just a booklet, but it does bear the same beautiful intricate design over here with that. It's almost mustardy in color. It also has that matte texture, which is, you know, it is very good to the touch. Here you have 5-cent tarot as the cards, and you have the table of contents here, and then an explanation about the 5-cent tarot. The 5-cent tarot is a fun and whimsical deck loosely inspired by Victorian era poster art. Using vintage images and remnants of biological and botanical ephemera, this deck incorporates keywords in the upright and reverse positions. Okay, there are no people in this deck. Okay, I don't really own a lot of, I don't know if I do, like yes, I guess I do have the Wild Unknown in a tin, the Pocket Tarot. I think that's the only tarot deck that I have that has animals. Well, I also have the Tarot of White Cats, and yeah, I think I do have several decks here that have animals in them, not necessarily people, but I think this is the one that's purely just animals, because this one has like, it is an animal inspired deck, but it does have like flora in it too, like trees and whatnot. But I'm excited and very keen to see the images of this deck. Yeah, on to the meanings of the major arcana cards. Oh, by the way, this has, I think, 4 extra cards. Yes, 4 extra cards, and I'm excited to see those extra cards for the major arcana. So everything is here. It doesn't really provide much information. I guess just the succinct info that you would need to start off reading tarot if this is your first time. But the card also has keywords in them, which helps, you know, if you're a beginner and you're trying to learn tarot. I think this is a pretty good deck to start off with if you are not so keen on RWS. But if you are a beginner in tarot, I would always recommend the RWS system, because I am an RWS girl. Okay, so moving on to the extra cards, we have, okay, so we have the World here, which is the last major arcana card. We have the Unknown. Okay, so this card represents the mysteries of the unknown, the beyond. Okay, this card is about the soul. Okay. The universe. Okay, this is strange because some decks, they call the World card as the universe card. So let's see, this card is about infinite growth on a higher level, as represented by the remarkably perfect mathematics of the Nautilus. Ooh, that's the ship, right? And then the Messenger, this card speaks to the presence of our spirit guides and the messages they are specifically trying to deliver us. And here it is represented by a hawk. And then on to the minor arcana cards. So the wands are called matches. The cups are called cups. Swords are called needles. And the pentacles are called buttons. And towards the end, that's it. I'm gonna put this aside and we're gonna have a look at the cards. So it has this beautiful gilding on the side. It is very lightweight. I wasn't really expecting it to be this lightweight, but let's remove the shrink wrap. Okay, out. All right, so let's talk about the cardstock. It is of, you know, it has this beautiful teal color with kind of like vintage gold. It's not really shimmery, but the ink that they used in the backing is of like quite similar to this, but more of like a vintage gold, if you know what I mean. They used a linen cardstock. If you can see, let me try to zoom in so that you can see the texture of the card. There you go. This phone is amazing. You can see the ridges. So yeah, that is the texture of the card itself. It is thin. I wasn't really, honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be this thin. I was expecting it to be a little bit, maybe, I don't know, maybe over 200 GSM, but this feels like maybe just 190. I don't know, don't take my word for it. It's just me making an estimate. But regardless of that, you know, it does feel very premium, pristine in its design, and the production is really nice. There are no sharp edges. Everything is just so smooth. And one thing that shocked me, well, not really shocked me because you just saw my reaction, but it is quite light. And I guess the fact that, you know, the cardstock is not as thick, I think that plays an important part in the lightness of the deck. This one has this gorgeous gilding, as you can see. And I'm gonna zoom in now so that we can have a look at the cards. Let's see how well It shuffles. Um, ooh, ooh, okay, that's very interesting. You know me, I do have small hands. If you've been in my channel for a long time, I always complain of having small or tiny hands, that it is quite difficult for me to shuffle thick decks that are of the usual tarot deck size. But this one, I find it very easy just because the cardstock isn't as thick and I can really easily wrap my fingers around the deck, which means it's fairly easy for me to shuffle it and riffle shuffle it as well. But let's do this shuffle, the sideways shuffle also works that way. Now, okay, let's try the overhand. Ooh, okay, that is very satisfying. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but the ridges on the backing actually make a sound, and I like its sound. It fits perfectly on my hands, which is very interesting because it is of the same size as your usual tarot. Let me get my Star Child deck here. Yes, it is of the same size, like your typical tarot deck. But for some reason, I guess because it is of a thinner cardstock, and okay, let's compare it. So it is of a thinner cardstock, and I think you can clearly see the difference here. Like this one is a lot more thicker. This one is more bendy, and this is a linen cardstock. Now I'm not saying that it is like of a lesser quality, because this is entirely different. That was a matte cardstock, the Star Child Akashic Tarot. This is of a linen cardstock, and it feels really premium. I like it a lot. So what else? The Tarot of the Divine is also of linen cardstock. But this one feels better. I don't know, I just really like it. It is thin, and I'm just gonna pull out another deck over here just because, for some reason I feel like, okay, apologize for the noise. For some reason I feel like they do have, quite similar texture, and maybe, no, this is a lot thinner. This is the Beauty of Horror Tarot. This is thinner, but it feels like they do have the same cardstock, and this is just a little bit thicker. But regardless, it is a gorgeous paper to use for a deck, and I love that it is very light, which makes it easier for me to handle the cards. It is very, very satisfying to shuffle it. I think the creator of this deck made an intelligent decision to make it this linen cardstock, because for some reason I really feel like it matches the theme. As you can see, the cards has like some ridges in the design, and for some, I don't know, it makes it feel whole and complete with the linen cardstock. I really like it when creators really do put an extra effort with the production of their deck. It is gilded, so which is with the pale gold, which is really nice as well. It's not the kind that transfers onto your hand, which is usually found in bootlegged or knockoff decks. This one is just very beautifully done, very well made. The production quality is superb. It came in with this gorgeous velvet bag. One thing that I would say is that, I'm not so sure how I will actually bond with this deck. Like I mentioned, I am an RWS girl, which means I am very attuned to the RWS scenes, and most of my decks are loosely based off of RWS. But, I really took a gamble on this one because I have been eyeing this deck for a long time, and I'm just so excited to have an animal deck that I feel like I will still be able to relate to, because it has very, very interesting artwork. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I had like 2 glasses of wine. So I'm a little bit boozy, but I am very excited to do this video, so I'm doing it, even though I'm a little bit boozy. But yes, so I feel like this is more of a pip deck in a way, just because it doesn't, present scenes like a Rider-Waite-Smith deck would. But it does provide you with animals, and I'm keen to know, like 10 of matches, and then we have like the matches over here, and then we have an ant. Now, that's okay, that's a bit strange because an ant can carry, I don't know, maybe 1,000 times more than their weight. So, if 10 of matches would really mean like, being stressed out or, feeling really burdened, um, maybe not so much, but, it depends, on how the flow of your reading will go, for you to identify what the card really means. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am an intuitive reader, so when I do my readings, I of course, take in the full message, not just per card. Okay, because you have to look at the full, or like the grand design of the whole spread in order for you to come up with a full message that's clear and coherent and concise to the reader. I mean, sorry, to the one that you're reading for. But yes, I mean, this is a deck that has keywords in it. So it says here burnout, stress, and responsibility, and delegation. Okay, well, I guess these are all just a bunch of keywords that you can, use as anchor points when you are doing your reading. It does help if you are, for example, just starting out. So yes, maybe a novice card reader would really appreciate this deck, especially if they're branching out from RWS themes and trying to, use different card styles. This would be a great deck to use. The images are fun. Like I said, this feels more pippish to me, and I'm not really one that cares too much for pip decks, but for some reason I feel like this is okay. Just because there are so many things happening in each of the cards, like you have animals, you have like the cups here, you have plants, and then you also have the keywords. So it's okay. It's a very interesting deck. It's so different from my usual. The cardstock, initially I thought would be a deterrent for me because it is super thin. Well, not super, super thin, but it is, thinner than I had imagined. But it actually works because, I am able to shuffle it. I think one drawback would be the fact that there are no further explanations in the guidebooks as to why each animal is selected for a specific card, but that's really no biggie, I mean, I don't usually go through each of the oops. I don't really actually go through the guidebooks anyway. It depends on my mood if I want to have a look and, leaf through it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you have this deck? Do you have this specific color? I know they offer other colors in the store, but chose this one just because I don't have a card, or no, a deck that has this color, and I think it's very light and refreshing. Now let me know what you guys think. I do appreciate you when you comment. Even if you're just watching, I do appreciate each and every one of you. But, I appreciate you more when you engage in conversation with me. Please also like this video if it helped you in some way, or consider subscribing to my channel for future reviews. Thank you so much for being here, and many blessings to you all. Bye!